Hello, all you cool cats and kittens. Just kidding. Don't like Carol Baskin or Tiger King for that matter. But how's it going, guys? It's Will here. Tried to do live on Instagram, but I'm in the Willy Wax. No internet connection to allow me to do so, so we'll try it with this. I'm not going to edit anything, just raw beer thoughts. Let's see what we got. First, I thought I'd go something from the other side of the country. We have Monkish Wild Aquatic. More or less your prototypical wild ale aged in oak puncheons. For anyone who doesn't know, a puncheon is a really large barrel. Not a fooder, which is like a huge oak vessel, but a puncheon is kind of like right in the middle. Couldn't give you the exact gallons inside, but there's quite a bit. 52 or 53 in a regular barrel, so more than 53 gallons, let's say that. So we'll start, get this cork off and see what we have going on here. Oh yeah. I'm going to thank my buddy Johnny Vacay for sending me this bottle. I'm actually rocking his shirt right now, Johnny Vacay. If any of you guys are interested in cool, kind of like vineyard viney brands, Johnny is definitely one to check out. All right, so got a nice, beautiful color. It smells really nice. A little bit of grapefruit, probably from hop, but a little bit of oak as well. Let's see what's going on. It's pretty good. Pretty good. A little bit of like, straw, hazy grass going on. A little bit of lemon and stone fruit. It pops. It's definitely a good drink. To put in perspective, Monkish is a brewery in California. It's just north of Long Beach in a town called Tarrant, or city called Torrance, California. Monkish are primarily known for hazy IPA offerings, New England IPAs. This, however, is a wild ale, so a lot of people in American beer will call wild ale saisons. I probably wouldn't call this a saison. It has no attributes of your, prototypical Belgian saison. It definitely is good though. It's really acidic, smooth still nonetheless. The acidity doesn't hold it back by any means necessary. I'm pretty sure this aged in oak for, let's see here, I think 16 months, I want to say. I'll read you the little description of it we have from Beer Advocate. I know, Beer Advocate's pretty lame. Wild ale aged in oak puncheons for 12 months. It was 12 months. Brewed in collaboration with Half Acre, and Half Acre is a brewery out of Chicago, Illinois. It's inspired by our fishing trips in Alaska and fish-themed American pale ales. We brewed a pale ale and fermented it with both our house culture and mixed cultures, and then aged it in French oak puncheons for almost 136 days. So I'm having a little spillover right here. I'm going to pour it in for a little bit for Natalie so I don't make a mess. Boom. Sorry, where was I? Fermented with both our house mix cultures and then aged in a French oak puncheon for almost 365 days. Bottle conditioned in 750 milliliter, corked and caged, tart, oaky, lemon, fruity, dry, soft, happiness. 5.6 ABV. It's good. I definitely wouldn't say it's, a grand slam, knock out of the park wild ale, but it's definitely pleasant. Could definitely, drink this on a nice summer day. Or with like a nice, piece of fish, it would probably really shine nice with that as well. But yeah, it's just an overall good beer. I'll give you a little close up on the bottle. Really cool. Glare's a nightmare. Really cool bottle. Got the Monkish logo and all that. But for as far as a brewery that primarily does IPAs, and I know Monkish does do a lot of saison, or shouldn't say that, wild ale. This is pretty great. It's a pretty good beer. But for the sake of time, I will move on to my second beer and drink this in a few. I'm going to open kind of a cool beer here. This is from a friend of mine. It's homebrew. Bob is a very well-known character here in Rangeley, and he did me the honor of corking and capping a bottle for me. So I'll get into it. I'll give you guys a couple of facts about it as I open this up because Bob was nice enough to message me all the details on the beer so I could tell you about it. Okay. So, that's all you. You're welcome. My silent co-host, Natalie.
What's up?
All right. So, here's Bob's note about the beer. I'll just give a quick read off while I try to get this. So, well, some years ago, its mother blend was born. The culture is about 12 years old, probably. 30% or so is 7 or 8. Sat in a keg on my porch. The youngest beer was primed with Kveik yeast and had Cascade dregs in it. Cascade is a brewery in Oregon that is known for sour mixed culture offerings. The mixed culture, for anyone who cares, is more or less a brewery's wild yeast. So a lot of breweries will have their own house culture. That's kind of their own trademarked, taste, flavor, or imprint on beer. And Cascade dregs doing the heavy lifting and the souring Brett character. Both are oaked, and the young beer was heavily experimental. Lots of oat. The oak he used was oak chips, so you don't have to necessarily age a beer in a barrel to get that oaky taste. He used oak chips that were medium toasted French oak. He used Zaz hops, but it was aged, so more or less low alpha hops. They all kind of do the same thing, so he just threw it in though. The young beer that it was back blended with had no hops, as he was trying to finish it a little quicker. The malt of the beer was 50-50 pills and raw white wheat turbid mashed for 2 hours and then a 2-hour boil. The young beer is an extract beer with a shit ton of oats. So Bob is a really awesome brewer. I've had beers of his before, both sour or wild and clean beer. So I expect good things from our boy Bob. And if you're ever in Rangeley, Maine, stop by Blue Orchid, his Thai restaurant, and check him out. He's got quite a beer selection as well. Oh, man. Oh, and this is also fruited with elderberry, and there's one more. I'll double check in a second here. Really nice color. Carbonated, but not as much as Bob said it would. And he primed it with honey, and primed is a really cool way or scientific way of saying that he conditioned the beer with protein and sugar, and he used honey for that. So this is naturally bottle conditioned, which explains the lack of head in this case, because Bob didn't do his due diligence. I am reviewing the beers after all, right, Bob? All right. By the way, this has been sitting in my cellar for like 3 months. Super acidic, super fruit punch. It's like bursting. Oh, and so is my Monkish bottle over here, so I'm going to pour a little bit in my glass. Whoops. 2 for 2 there. I'm making a mess. Anyway, back to the Bob beer. If we're talking homebrew, this is excellent. I mean, you really can't do wild beer on a home scale like as good as this. This is so tasty and it's so refreshing, and you really get that oak element, not overpowering whatsoever. Not to knock Monkish at all. I mean, this is an incredible established brewery. I mean, there's lines out the door every day at Monkish. It's a very sought after brewery, especially for their IPAs. But I'd put Bob's Wild Ale right next to the quality of the Wild Aquatic. Very different. This isn't the Wild Aquatic isn't a blended Wild Ale. This is, I mean, we're talking very different process. This probably went down, or maybe not. I don't know Monkish as well as I know Bob's brewing habits, but this is really, really nice. Good work to Bobby. The second fruit I actually wanted to double check on that is, see, Bobby boy, elderberries and black currants. Yeah, black currants definitely comes out there now that I hear it. It's definitely one of the elements of this one. This is a really sweet beer. I hope Bob has more because I want to sell her some more of this. I mean, Like I actually have had this beer before, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say just about 3 months ago when he initially bottled them. And this has grown quite a bit. The fruit has come out a lot more than it did initially. The oak is there, like I said earlier. It's pleasant, not overbearing. The acidity is there. I mean, we're talking no infection whatsoever for a wild ale. And a lot of times when you brew wild ale, especially or any type of beer like that at home, you really run the risk of infecting your beer, oxidizing your beer, which can introduce off flavors or all sorts of different elements. There are none of these with this. This is really lovely and super, super smooth, easy to drink. Look forward to drinking the rest of this 750. But for the sake of time, and I know we do have a lot during these crazy times, I will end it now, keep this short. Hope you guys enjoyed, and maybe we'll do this again sometime. Thanks so much. You guys have a good one.